The American comic book industry is dead. What's up, everyone? My name is Jared. This is Patriots and Pop Culture. Welcome to the channel. I wanted to cover something today that I found kind of interesting. Being a comic book collector for over 30 years and recently stopping collecting comics about 5 years ago whenever I noticed how woke the medium was getting, especially in the American comics. A very interesting story came out a couple of days ago. It was an article listing the top 20 graphic novels in the month of April in United States sales. And I wanted to go over this, maybe see what the problem is with American comics. Okay, on here you can see number 1 through 20. This is graphic novels basically for the month of April, starting April 4th through May 1st. Not a single American comic book is on the top 20. You have the last 2 volumes of My Hero Academia, number 1 and number 18. They have a new volume coming out June 1st. I'm already on the list for that. And then number 9 is My Hero Academia Volume 2. You have a lot of people starting to collect this story from scratch now, as well as a lot of other Volume 1s on here. Demon Slayer, Tokyo Ghoul, Jujutsu Kaisen, Spy X Family, Chainsaw Man. Every single one of these is Japanese manga. 19 of the top 20 are actually from one company, Viz Media. The only one that's not from that company is the one that produces Attack on Titan, which is a very, very popular manga, and it's a very popular anime show. I actually just started watching that last week, as well as starting on Demon Slayer. But what you'll notice on there is that there's not a single graphic novel from Marvel or DC, the 2 supposed biggest comic book companies in the world. Where are they? They're not there. Now, why is that? Well, let me show you why. Marvel decides to put out garbage like a new version of The New Warriors. This is not The New Warriors from a long time ago. This is basically a bunch of characters that they put together, once again, for Twitter woke points. Characters that they have created named Snowflake and Safe Space. And they have one that's also named Be Negative. We're all being pretty negative about what you're putting out, Marvel. It's a bunch of hot garbage. This book, along with a bunch of other books, are basically just being created by pretend authors who are actually just activists, and they're trying to get as many check boxes for woke points in their books as possible. Well, New Warriors definitely did that, and nobody is reading it. And then you have DC and Marvel both will come and attack the fans by saying that we're being bigots because we don't want to read their activist garbage. Let me show you one that came out. This was probably about 2 months ago or so from DC. Geared towards teens, called I Am Not Starfire. That little Wookiee looking thing down there is supposed to be Starfire's daughter. Now, the funny part about the design of this character is that the artist drew the character to look like, yeah, we're putting ourselves in books now. And you wonder why nobody is reading the books. Comic book companies are saying that sales have never been better. Comic book stores are talking about massive growth. What would happen if we took the manga comics from Japan out of the sales? Would we be singing the same tune? Something tells me the answer is a definitive no. Japanese manga is actually keeping a lot of comic book stores alive. It's keeping a lot of bookstores alive, and their online sales have been through the roof for years. But they want to spin the narrative and say that comic book sales have never been better, because right now what they're putting out is a bunch of woke garbage that nobody wants to get. So they have to spin the words to make it sound like people are buying this stuff, so that the normal people who have not bought it will start asking themselves, wait, what am I missing? Why am I not getting this book? I must go get this book. And they're thinking that that's going to work in getting people to buy the book and read the book and then like the book. Being deceptive like that doesn't really change people's opinions whenever you give them the material to read, and then they're able to form their own opinion in their own home about what garbage you just wrote. And there's plenty of other examples too, but honestly right now I don't have the stomach to go through and explain all of the pictures. You can go look. There's plenty of articles about why American comics are dying. Political correctness, the PC culture, the cancel culture, the trying to change the narrative, trying to destroy every established white male character that we've ever had and replace them with a person of color or some other checkbox that they can put in, non-binary, gay, or a combination of all of them. Look what's going on right now with J.J. Abrams and Bad Robot recasting Superman for a reboot, and Kal-El, Clark Kent, is going to be a black guy after 83 years. Why? That's just one example. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier was a bunch of woke points. Trying to have their new Captain America tell a bunch of cops and a bunch of people in the Congress at the end of it with this big speech, you need to do better. You're Captain America in name only because you're not Steve Rogers. Just like Bucky was Captain America in name only because he's not Steve Rogers. Steve Rogers is Captain America. Kal-El, Clark Kent, is Superman. And Kal-El, Clark Kent, Superman, is not just all of a sudden needing to be a black guy after 83 years. But the woke PC garbage that we have seen over the past decade, especially over the past 5 or 6 years in the comic book medium, is now leaking its way into other mediums. TV, movie, cartoons, toys. We don't have the things that we used to enjoy anymore. Manga and anime is where it's at right now because they just care about telling the stories. They care about the characters. They care about progressing their stories, but not being progressive like American comic books are doing. American comic books are just trying to preach to us. They're trying to tell us how horrible we are and how amazing and virtuous they are, especially these writers. But you have things like Demon Slayer. If you haven't seen Demon Slayer, watch it. First episode, 9 minutes in, it gets absolutely insane. You have no idea that what happens. Attack on Titan, really good. And I'm going to get caught up on all of these because that's what I'm watching now. That's what I'm reading now because I'm tired of being preached to. And apparently, by the look of the sales of graphic novels, I'm not the only one. Are you still riding with American comics? Do you prefer one over the other? Do you prefer Marvel, DC? Do you prefer one of the smaller companies? Is there anything inside the American comic book world that you still hold on to because they've still held on to some of their values? Or are you okay with being preached to? Have you switched over to a different type of entertainment? Because we can't get away from any of this stuff in American entertainment anymore. It's put into absolutely everything. What are your thoughts on this? Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, share it, comment on the video. Let's have a conversation about it. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, hit the bell to get notifications, and see you on the next video. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And as my kid says,
click on bell
to get notifications for upcoming videos.